Okay, now let's go on birding. Let's go on the field actually, where you can see so many birds. I will show you some of the photographs clicked by me, as well as some videos taken. Actually, it's a paradise for birding, and I regularly visit this area. Almost on say every Sunday, I am there to watch these birds, watch their behavior in this area. So let's go. The first one is black-winged stilt. I'll tell you something about all these birds. Whenever I clicked next slide, you can listen some characteristic feature of this bird. You can see it's a pink long legged animal having very sharp long beak. This black-winged stilt is a very long-legged wader bird, mainly eat insects and crustaceans from the marshes, shallow lakes as well as ponds. This bird is abundantly available. You can find this bird in any water body, and it is indicator of pollution. Wherever there is a heavy pollution or beginning of pollution, we can say, because of some industrial growth or nearby city, some wetlands are there. So if the number of stilts are more, you can easily recognize this area or this water also is a polluted one. These birds also pick up their food from sand or water, and they often prepare their nest in a very small groups. Next bird is bronze winged jacana. You can see very different type of bird. This bird is having a characteristic feature of its feet. Look at its feet and digits. They are very large one, spread one, and they have been developed for walking on the floating vegetation. This is a jacana is a group of it belongs to group of waders that are identified by their huge feet as well as claws, which enable them to walk on floating vegetation in shallow lakes. Their preferred habitat is a shallow lake as well as a floating vegetation. The females are more colorful than the males. In this case, very characteristic feature bird. Normally, all in case of birds, males are more attractive, colorful, but in this case, female is attractive, colorful, shining plumage is present on the body. So in this case, this is a bronze winged jacana female having a strip at just near the eye. You can see a white strip on the head, and wing color or wing plumage color is a bronze one, easily identified characteristic feature or physical feature of this bird. Next bird from the similar family, that is pheasant-tailed jacana. This is also jacana having similar kind of feet, but it's a different species. You can see there is a very characteristic pattern on the neck. There is a bronze appearance is there. It was there on the earlier bird, that is a bronze winged jacana. That's why the name given bronze winged, whereas in the pheasant tailed jacana, as it is in this patch is present on the neck. Otherwise, rest of the body is almost similar, but it has a very long tail. This is a characteristic feature from the earlier bird. You can see very short tail in this animal, but in case of pheasant tailed jacana, it's a long tail. So the name given pheasant tailed. You can observe similar kind of tail in a cuckoo or in a pheasant crow. in a pheasant crow. We normally call it as a Bharadwaj. Similar type of tail is there, so the name given pheasant tailed jacana. Next bird is black winged kite. It is actually not directly a wetland bird, but this black winged kite is present nearby this wetland for opportunity to collect food material, for getting earthworms, the other insects, as well as small birds, weak birds. This bird can collect easily because this is a raptor. Black shoulder kite is a small but distinctive falcon like kite, light underneath, blue grey above the conspicuous black shoulder formed by the black wing covert. Juveniles have a scaly back and brownish washed breast. Found in open savanna, it is also present in semi-desert, mostly found in the agricultural lands with scattered woods. It varied its flight style, normally hovering like a kestrel or gliding like a harrier, with deep wing beats and raised wings. In the second diagram, or in the second picture, you can observe this bird. I clicked this from my car when I was driving a car, and I found just at the top of the my car, this bird is hovering in the sense flying at one position only continuously, and that's why I have taken that opportunity and immediately get the camera. I was actually about to go to wetland, and in the journey this bird was I captured, and immediately I clicked it. Next bird is black-tailed godwit. Black-tailed godwit is a gregarious medium-sized wader with a long, slightly up-tilted bill. Note the very long pink-based bill. You can observe here, very long pink-based bill. Breeding plumage has a bright rusty head and breast, dark barring on the belly. Non-breeding plumage has a rather plain greyish head. This particular picture is a non-breeding plumage because this is a matured one, but not in the breeding period, as this bird is a migratory bird and it migrate to our area. Then we can also talk about this word name. This is a black-tailed because of this tail pattern. Tail's pattern is a black one, or black plumage is present. Godwit, the name given, the reason maybe because of continuous piercing of its beak in the water continuously. It is continuously piercing its beak in the water and try to collect the food material. So people might have thinking, or the person who has given the name might have thinking about what exactly God knows what this bird is finding about. That might be the reason the name given godwit. Next is brown-headed gull. Very common bird you can find near any sea or ocean. This is also a matured, but this is again in the immature, in the non-breeding period. So it looks like head pattern. Normally the name is a brown-headed gull, but still it shows a white head, indicating non-breeding period. During that breeding period, as well as in the complete matured birds, you can see the head is completely black. They are living in groups, a very huge and large flocks. They are moving. So this brown-headed gull is actually the pale button eyes you can find of this gull give it a somewhat fearsome appearance. Breeding adult head is a color of milk chocolate, lightening towards the bill. Non-breeding and first winter birds have a dark ear patch and faint traces of dark hood. All plumages may be confused with smaller black-headed gull, but note pale eyes and more extensive black on the primaries in all plumages. Breeds on high altitude on the Tibetan plateau and winters on marshes, estuaries, and rivers, most often in the coastal areas. Like our area is covered by these gulls heavily. Look very nice.